Now, what
We're
about,
on the hook for that.
So we need to asphalt it because of that reason. Okay, I was not aware of that.
and then I didn't think you were, you didn't have any reason to know. And then the fitness court, was that the same? Wasn't there money?
No, we
yet?
haven't, we don't have any money for that
Okay.
yet. That's, we're still working on that.
And I think right now the asphalt plants are closed.
Yes,
Yeah.
And so, but we do need to keep a close eye on that so we don't lose our matching.
That's right.
Well, now that you mentioned the matching, I'll keep a close eye on it.
All right.
and where's the building for Sunset Splash?
They bought the property, east of, I think it's Davis Road, where, that's the road that leads into Columbia Forest Products.
That's correct.
And so they're on the east side of that road. And they have a brand new building there.
Right?
Well, my ears perked up when you said, wetlands.
I
Use
don't,
monitor, I've heard that that was wetlands also, and I was sort of surprised that they got the permits for that.
well,
But
there's
Can you
nothing's been,
bore under?
yeah, as far as the waistline, nothing. Well, they're not on the wetland side. The wetland side is where the waistline would probably be going through.
They put in some fill dirt too, before they built it.
They did.
All right.
I don't know if that had.
Just wanna make sure we stay on the proper side.
No,
of that.
I think they built on the right side. They didn't build on the lower area.
All right, thank you much, Ms. Wilking. Infomart, you guys wanna go ahead?
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council. Before I get started, I do have one quick introduction. I'd like to introduce you to Dustin Rohr.
Hey, Dustin.
Pleasure to meet you.
Dustin Rohr is our project manager in Danville, and he is stepping up as the interim project manager in Chapman. Since our last meeting, Joseph Helwig, the previous project manager, officially had to submit his resignation for medical reasons, and we completely understand that. During the vacancy, we do have the position posted and are actively recruiting for that, and Dustin is stepping in to help out on the management side and pick up the torch and continue carrying it from what Joseph was doing. Mainly helping Malcolm out on the office side as he's busy in the field. Dustin is no stranger to the area. He just lives down the road in McAllen's and is originally from the area, so good to have some local management back here in Chapman. As far as the month of December, it was a busy and I guess ended with a bang, especially on the public works side. For water and wastewater, we did operate in full compliance during the month, a successful month. I do want to point out one close call. It's not in the report, it's just informational. There was a valve that was stuck in the wrong position that rediverted some of the return activated sludge flow to the digesters as waste activated sludge. Basically, we had a valve in a position that removed more bugs than we had planned. The plant was lower than we like to have it for optimized treatment for a small period of time. It was about 2.5 day recovery, bouncing back from that. Our operators noticed it, got everybody on board, and were able to get the plant back in line. No compliance issues with that. I did just want to point that out. Mayor Davis has the three-way valve that's been on the list for a while. As far as the water treatment plant, we treated a total monthly flow of 15.41 million gallons, and the wastewater plant 8.51 million gallons. As far as the financials, again, we have an annual maintenance cap budget of $249,556.08. Just as a reminder, that runs through the fiscal month of April, and then it will reset. So we've got 4 months left on this budget. During December, we spent a total of $5,925.35. At the wastewater plant, that was $3,184.54. Public Works had $2,740.81, and nothing attributed to the water treatment plant. That brings our total year-to-date expenses to $192,366.60, with a remaining budget of $57,189.48. Usually when we get to this point, or at least the last few years that I've been in the picture, we usually have a little bit more cushion here. With that being said, if you look at our average spending minus the large job, the sewer repairs, the water main breaks, we do have a chance of staying with this. So it is our goal to stay underneath this budget, and if for whatever reason we have any left over, we've got a series of smaller, B priority projects that we can reinvest that in if we're lucky enough to have some balance there. No health and safety issues. As far as the staffing, again, we have the the project manager position open. Other than that, we're fully staffed. And I will say Orlando now, after the first of the year, is full-time at the water treatment plant. And he is very excited. Speaking of which, project highlights at the water treatment plant, the biggest news is Mr. Webking stated is the new raw water intake. So just a couple more clarifying details on that. The previous intake was essentially a stream pipe in the middle of the creek channel. Anytime there was a large rain that washed a lot of mud and debris down, that effectively would plug up. The number one issue in the past for the Chatham Water Treatment Plant was actually just getting water to the treatment plant. Believe it or not, as muddy as that creek could get, if we could get water to the plant, we could typically treat it with no issues. This effectively solves that. What it is instead of a pipe in the middle of the creek, it's actually a diverted basin that draws water in at a slow velocity to keep a constant flood over the new intake pipe, which is offset from the creek. With that, it's got a couple of really cool features. You can manipulate valves to bring the head pressure up and down and essentially flush the debris or buildup that comes through that. And then it goes down past the little bulkhead dam there to essentially solve that issue. So along with the cleaned up source water coming into the facility, which could produce some chemical savings, it will immediately solve the ongoing rental of the diesel pump. So when it plugs up, we have to rent a diesel pump to get water from the creek to the wet well that pumps up to the water treatment plant. So that should go away. We will definitely keep the council posted. Once we get about a year, so this time next year, we'll be able to look at the annual cost savings from that. The final construction inspection, I believe, is scheduled for the 20th of this month. Once the state comes in and inspects that and gets the final stamp from the engineers, this will officially be done. So we appreciate the investment, and it's certainly a huge improvement at the water plant. As far as the wastewater plant goes, we talked about the small process issue. Everything's back in order there. I will say it's a heavy maintenance month, so the crew's been hard at it. Just a couple of highlights: the grit classifier is back on site and in service. Number 3 clarifier is being pumped out for a scheduled seal replacement. Hoist upgrades were installed at the Davis Road lift station. We are having to pull those pumps pretty frequently because of the monster issue at the correctional facility. We're still navigating through that. Work on the aerators and the sludge pumps. Again, after the introduction, this is not Dustin's first time in. He and the Danville team have been able to help out after hours to be able to help us catch up and keep up with some of these large maintenance items as well. As far as Public Works, exciting month for us. We added 2 new Ram 2500s to the Public Works fleet, so you'll see some new trucks, and they're gonna stay looking new right now. We're continuing to focus on leaves and brush, although that is dwindled as we're into the winter season. And we are starting planning for equipment and schedules for spring mowing. I do want to give the crew a shout out for the amount of work that went into setting up Christmas, and also a speedy removal of the decorations after an interesting driving event. I think the Grinch may have too much alcohol on that. I do want to point out one for you, Will. The first red dot on the equipment status report on the 4th line is the number 3 flocculator. That was repaired today, and Malcolm got it back in service. The motor has been replaced on that.
Okay, so that should be green, so there should be 2 reds.
That's right.
Okay, here we go, thank you.
Any questions?
I do. Did you have to rebuild some motors, a couple motors?
We did, not on the flocculators, so.
Okay.
What were those on, Michael?
I know we rebuilt a bunch of the, return pumps at the wastewater. I don't think we rebuilt. I did, the flocculator motor was one I had rebuilt.
Okay.
Yep, I had to have it redone. It's so old that, it couldn't be replaced. I had to have it rebuilt.
Right.
Question, Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir.
At the last meeting, though, I